And I want to shout out to Orison, who was with us on Friday as well, and their Good Friday work was, again, just amazing. Well, some of you know that I work out a bit, and on Tuesdays and Thursdays I go to a thing called boot camp. Some of you do that, and it's just a workout. We do exercises, lift weights. We're in a warehouse, and we're always playing music like this. You can crank it up a little bit. And the other morning I was lifting weights, and this song came on. You know, if Tom were here, he'd be doing this. I'm not going to do that. And I'm thinking, oh, guys, it's hard enough, and this music is on. Will Smith is on. And all of a sudden, I hear a voice, and I turn around, and Father David Boatner, who's the dean of the cathedral at Sacred Heart, works out with us. He's back there cutting it, man, dancing and singing. And we're going, what are you doing? Well, we all crack up. Chris is laughing, we're laughing. And we're just, anyway, it is just wonderful. And the look on his face is pure joy, just absolute pure joy. And I have to tell you, the rest of the workout was easy. I am not kidding. We laughed, we talked. It just changed the mood. Chris reminded me, we work in a warehouse, we roll those big doors up. Every morning, it's Father David who makes us stop. He'll say, everybody, stop, stop, stop. We stop. You know what we do? We watch the rising sun. Every morning, we're working out with him. He never fails to do it. You see, he's that kind of person. So I say my hat is off to my colleague over at Sacred Heart this morning, who's busy with 4 or 5 services over there today. He's the kind of person, he is a man who sees joy all the time in life. So my question to you is, how much joy do you have in your life? Real joy. Don't slide past that question too quickly. Just let it settle for a moment. Today I don't need to tell you is Easter, and that is what Easter is all about. Is us gathering together to embrace the joy that is this season. It really is about slowing down, which is going to be really hard for most of you and is terribly hard for me, to slow down to hear the music in life. To really slow down so that I watch the sun come up. And every day I make sure that I witness that it goes down again. You know, joy is much more than laughter, isn't it? It's just not hilarity or silliness like we were doing the other morning. Joy is something deep. It is a deep, visceral response to us in acknowledging something terribly important, so don't miss it. That life in its ultimate formation, regardless of where we are in that journey of life, some of you are not in a good place today, and I know that. But regardless of where we are, life is good. God blessed that and made that for us. You know, today we celebrate that Jesus has been raised from the grave. He has been raised from the dead. But this day implies so much more than just life conquering death. It implies everything about life itself. Did you hear the words from Isaiah? They're probably not familiar. They're printed on a little sheet for you to take home, and I hope you will look at them again and again through this week. Because Isaiah, the prophet, is writing about when Messiah comes. And that's why we're here, isn't it? The Messiah has come. He has been raised from the dead. And he says when that occurs, then there will be a new heaven and a new earth. Jerusalem will be a joy. The people will be a delight, he says. No more weeping, no crying of distress. Houses built and vineyards planted. Work enjoyed, labor never done in vain. Children never born to calamity. And all of us shall become an offspring blessed. Today it has happened. We witness it again. But notice that it is not just a new day. He is witnessing to a new age of people that we share in and have shared in for 2,000 years. We are now part of that offspring blessed. You and I are called, you see, to live something. And what is that? It sounds like joy to me. To live the blessing, but more than to live it. Maybe we are to be a joy of blessing for others. You know, I can spend a lot of time if you want me to. I've got all day. I've been here most of the night. I can do lots of theology if you want to do it. I'll wear you out with it. I'll do 45 minutes. Are you ready? You don't want that. I don't want that. Today is not a day for us to engage all this cerebral stuff. It is for us to engage in what this moment means, what this day means for us. It is about experience. It is about experiencing what God has for you. You've bothered to come. It is now about you and God. You see, there is always new possibility if you will grasp it. Always offered. Always offered. That is why Paul could write these words in Ephesians, that we just might, I want you to listen, we just might put away our bitterness, our anger, our wrangling, our slander, our maliciousness, our falsehood, that we might really put it away and put on instead what he calls a new self. A new self. We are new selves, you see, in his image. That is why we celebrate Easter. We are Easter. You are to be Easter. You are Easter people, you and me. That is what the world needs and hopes for. See, maybe that's why in the words of Philippians, we can live this way, that our lives are full of joy, the joy of the Lord always. As Philippians says, again I say rejoice. Or maybe that's why we can live up to the words of Colossians, that in all things, wherever we are in life, we remind ourselves always to be thankful. Each day is a gift. Every person, and particularly ones near you now, are a gift. And maybe, just maybe, we'll hear the words of Hebrews and that instruction might sink in a bit. That we can show love and do good deeds every day of our life. So what do you think? You know, the other day at Kroger, man, husband and wife were shopping. She's pushing the cart, he's behind her, up and down the aisles. And then they whip up the aisle that has all the flour, baked stuff, all the stuff for baking. She's cruising along. He stops at the cake batters. And he picks up a box of cake mix. And he says to his wife, who's still walking, he says to her, hey, honey, let's not forget we're going to need whole milk. We may need some cream. You know, we're going to need something for this. And don't forget the butter. And she looks back at him and just laughs and says, well, you don't forget that you're on a diet. And he says back to her, well, you only live once. And the kid, the teenager, stocking the shelves, is sitting on a bench on the floor. He says, barely audible, well, maybe once is enough. God does not think once is enough. Once is not enough. It is eternity that you and I are in for. But right now, I want you to focus here. This is the life you have. Don't miss it. This is the life you have, the one you and I get to share. So why not start today? That business of trying to be a bit of Easter joy for the people around you. Maybe do this. And I mean just for today. Just try it, okay? Just for today. How about you let every person around you be responsible for himself or herself? Every person. How about this? You keep your boundaries extremely clear and extremely clean. Real smooth lines. How about this? Don't blame or find fault. Don't do it. If it starts to come out, push it back in. Don't criticize. And then maybe we'll be led to where Paul thought we might get. That we can really put away the anger that is in us, the malice that often comes up, the distance we put between us, and all the rest. You know, when you live that way, you know what you will taste, what you will feel, what you will experience will be what our friend Father Boatner has all the time, this deep sense of joy about his life. It is deeply and wonderfully remarkable. And when you taste that, you'll be a joy to the people around you. You know, today God has brought joy to earth. It is born into us. It's like we are being born in this Easter moment. Meaning and compassion and passion are all rolled up, pulled together, focused together in this business of the goodness of life. And that goodness is waiting. It is waiting right there at the tip of your fingers for every one of you. Happy Easter. Amen.